Shit.
What up, though?
Plug City.
Nobody talking
Shout out
like
my
this.
dog Hank.
Right
Sure,
Ain't nobody plug like this, you know we got it all. Dress from head to toe and hang nation, show you how to ball. Subscribe to the channel right now, check out them interviews. You can see me kicking it with Logic and the homie June. Dropping dope content every week now. So many artists killed it on that Plug City freestyle. No ideas media, we moving kinda different. Stay up in the lab, cooking up like your mama kitchen. Number one in the streets, you know we got it locked. They put times on the beat, so now I got it hot. So tune in, leave a like and subscribe. You locked in with Plug City, now enjoy the vibe. Ain't nobody plug like this, you know we got it all. Dress from head to toe and hang nation, show you how to ball. Subscribe to the channel right now, check out the interviews. You can see me kicking it with Logic and the homie June. Yeah, shouts out to Plug City. Make sure y'all go over there and tap in. Leave a like and subscribe. Dope Ideas Media. Yeah. Ain't nobody plug like this. Ain't nobody plug like this. Ain't nobody plug like this. Ain't nobody plug like this.
Welcome to Plug City. I'm your host, June. We got a very dope guest here today, but I'm going to start off and let my co-host introduce himself.
The very dope co-host, of course.
Oh,
Boy Project Logic, man. Dope Ideas Media, Plug City. You know what it is.
Yeah, shout out to Hank Nation. Subscribe to Hank Nation, man.
Hit that subscribe button, man. We just hit a stack. We trying to get up, man. Hit that subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe, do all that, man.
Share everything, man. You be on your phone all day anyway.
Yeah, we got a dope, multi-talented guest here. I'm going to let you introduce yourself, though. Tell the people who you are.
Yo, so I go by the name of Monte. I'm coming here to represent Creative Control and my line Teddy by Monte.
That's dope. That's dope. You know, you sitting next to Logic. He gonna whatever he doesn't know and whatever the people out there gonna know, he gonna find out.
Yeah. No, man, this is dope because this is the first interview I've done where I'm not really already familiar with what you do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or familiar with you as a person. So this is going to be a learning experience.
Oh,
for
we
me
going to
as well.
find out.
So get to meet me, you know.
So we normally like to start off every interview, no matter who it is, with just talking about your background, your upbringing, where you from, where you were raised, where you grew up at, stuff like that.
Yep, so I'm from Detroit, Michigan.
Detroit?
West Side.
West Side?
I grew up like in schoolcraft, real humble beginnings. You know, I went to Dawson Elementary, Cadillac, and Cooley High. I was one of the last classes. I was one of the last classes to graduate out of Cooley High. And I did like a little summer school at Monte, one of them last years to get them credits up, whatever.
Okay.
So essentially, you know, I'm just like an all-time like creative. Like I love, you know, just being creative, just to the T. You know what I'm saying? And like one of my biggest inspirations are like Kanye West and like Pharrell. I loved how they, you know, just coming up, you know, I always admired how they were so different, you know, and unique with their sound, and, you know, it got me here to this point for the most part.
Was that something that you was doing, like, let's start with the elementary school days, like, did you create then? Was you into sports? Like, what was your thing there?
So I wasn't the sporty kid. I was like the artist kid, though.
Okay.
I was like one of the best artists in class. Like, I was like the kid that could draw Goku the best.
Okay.
Yep, and I did a couple, like coming up in school, I did a couple like books too. Like just like kids was, I'll draw out of like 6, 7, 8, maybe 12 pages or so. Whatever. Always been artsy. I was always drawing in books instead of actually listening to some of the you know, assignments and
kids
shit like
don't
that.
do this at home. Don't do this at school.
Please don't. But, you know, be great.
Yeah.
Facts. Okay. A lot of times when we talk to entrepreneurs or people who are business minded, it normally comes from something. It normally comes from whether they had a bad experience at a job or whether they saw their parents like working and like, oh, I never want to be that and can't do this or can't do that. Like, what drove that entrepreneurial spirit? Because I'm assuming, and I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm assuming that before you decided what you wanted to do as an entrepreneur, you knew you wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Oh, yeah, correct.
Okay, so because a lot of people, and they find their lane within what is good for them, but they already know, like, I don't want to punch a clock. I don't want a 9 to 5. I don't want somebody over my head. Like, what fueled that entrepreneurial spirit for you?
So, essentially, like, you ever heard the saying, like, where it's like, you hang around, and I don't want to use this term so out of context.
Yeah.
you hang around like 5, I guess just uninspired or just lazy people, who gonna be the 6? You know what I'm saying? And if you hang around people that's more inspired or more go-getter people, you know what I'm saying, people who's on the type stuff, guess who's gonna be like the 6th person in that? And so, of course, it was like a close friend to me, you know what I'm saying? I went to school for business,
Okay.
you know, so I had some, like, at least, like a point system, you know what I'm saying, of business, you know what I'm saying, at least an idea. So I went to college, go to school, you know what I'm saying, to get the information you may need. But it was, of course, like a friend that was close to me. He sells shoes. And like another friend of me, he shot videos. He shot all my music videos. And like I seen that he was able to live, you know, just doing that. Do what you love doing. You have to have passion though, too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, if they could do it, I could do it too. And it was like, I was like inspired by girls who do hair. And I'm just sitting there like, they known around the city or just they known for around their people for doing what they like doing.
Right.
And they're successful doing it. I'm saying, so now I got to think of a way, like, because I don't know how to do hair or whatever. I'm not, you know, passionate on doing hair. You know what I'm saying? I'm a guy like, you know what I'm saying? You know, just I love music and, you know, being art. So I had to think about, like, I had to be really creative. Like, how can I do this to me? Like, how can I find a way to get something that I love doing and market that? Where's the gap in the market for me? I was already doing music, you know, and I understand. So since the long time I've been doing music, I understand that the music industry is a business.
Right.
It's a brand. That's why I got Teddy by Monte. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, I started doing studio time. Like, I was paying for studio time. I was paying for music videos. I was paying for the beats. You know what I'm saying? So I already understood, like, this is what it gotta, you know, where I want to go with it.
All right, and what was your first? What was that moment when you decided to jump out of the window and finally do it? Because you came up, you was always artistic, you was always creative. And a lot, you find that with a lot of creators where they can't pay attention in class because your mind is always creating. And school is all about structure and being linear. You go from the door to your seat, raise your hand directly to the bathroom, from the bathroom back to your seat, straight line lunchroom, straight line back, straight line prayer, and it's all about being linear. And creative is non-linear. You got to be able to move. If you're in the middle of drawing, you might have been in the middle of drawing a giraffe first, and be like, you know what about a bear? You know what I'm saying? And you might hear a beat, be like, yo, I'm gonna go in the studio and I'm gonna rap about this. And you hear the beat and be like, nope, I'm not rapping about that no more. I'm rapping about this.
Yeah.
So it's all about, a lot of creatives have problems being linear. And a lot of times you find out that a lot of creatives are some of the most, to the untrained eye, the most unorganized people a lot of times.
Very
Stuff
unorganized.
everywhere. Not nasty, not dirty, just unorganized. We know where the shit at. But you might not be able to look at it, know where the stuff is. No, under 3 sheets, move those 3 sheets of paper, slide that envelope to the side, it's right there.
Yeah, it's most definitely a
you know what I'm saying?
that
so,
the creator understands.
yeah, and you know what I'm saying? I'm not as creative, but I consider myself creative as well, and I struggle with a lot of those things. So it's like, at what point, because there has to get to a point where you do have to be, I guess I'll say semi-linear, where you do have to kind of, okay, let me focus on this. Okay, when you came up with Teddy, like, all right, let me focus on this shirt. Let me focus on this design. Let me focus on getting this there. What was the point for you when you got that focus, and what was it that you first focused on as an entrepreneur?
I want to say I was in like school actually. I might have been in speech class where, because I was like, once again, I was rapping at first, whatever, and so I had the idea to, like, I might have just been doodling. Like, it wasn't every day. This wasn't an everyday thing. This might have just been that day, and like I don't know, I had just some idea to brand shirts. I didn't want to do rest in peace shirts. You know what I'm saying? And this is before like the streaming era. So it was
About
like,
what year are we talking?
You know, it was like right before the streaming era. So you could have just been like in SoundCloud, that picture or whatever. You know, this is when I was in college, whatever. And you know, I went back to my homies, was like, yo, I think we should do shirts, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think, you know, because once again, I had the, you know, business, you know, I guess, and trained me, whatever, in school, whatever. So I want to say it was T-shirts.
What was the response from the homies?
Everybody was like, I think that's a fire idea, but we need a logo.
Okay. And then how'd you go from there?
I drew a logo. I drew hundreds of logos. Like, I drew so many ideas because I was already drawing. So I drew so many ideas, and then we just sat and we threw a bunch of names out. Came up with a good idea, whatever. I found, so we just asked, you know what I'm saying? Luckily, I had a good, I ain't gonna lie, y'all, it's not just me, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's a whole, like, in order to be successful, it has to be certain variables present. You know what I'm saying? Luckily for me, I had a good support system around me to where if I said something or was trying to bring something out, my peoples was with me, was like, all right, well, I know somebody that do this. And so my homie, he called his cousin up with a silk screen machine, and, you know, he gave us a price, whatever, it might have been like $500. And, you know, we raised that up, you know what I'm saying? We did that, got it, trying to understand, like, just how the silk screen thing was. And I was, like, very determined. It was a lot of trial and error. And a lot of ink. It was so messy and stuff like that. But, you know, once I kind of got the response, it was like, yeah, we doing this for real.
Okay. And like, this part of the conversation is normally the most boring part, but it's also normally the most necessary part.
Yeah.
Because everybody love to come out here and tell the success stories, how they were successful, what they're doing now. But to somebody who's listening, they might want to hear the steps. Yeah. Like, what did he do then? Then what did he do then? Then what did he do then? Then what? Because somebody's gonna see this and want to follow your blueprint. Right. You know, to success. They can't.
Because it's inspiring.
Yeah, it is when you hear it, and it's like I always like to spend a little bit more time on the tedious background stuff. Where did it start? Where did that take you to? Where did that take you to? How did that process go? So people can hear it, because I like people to hear the failures. Like, I wasted a lot of ink. I didn't know what a silk screen was. Like, what are we doing here? Wasted a lot of time. I drew 100 logos. Like, that stuff be important, because some people draw 2 logos and that ain't it, and they done. They buy that silk press, make their first shirt. It's wrong, and they selling the silk press at a $200 loss. Because, man,
So I love a good come up story.
Yeah, so I love to get a little bit more of the details and a little bit more to fill in before we get to where you at now and where you going in those heights, just to let people see that process. So, and that's a good thing that you said, going back to what you were saying, because a lot of times you hear people, you know, go to their homies with their ideas or their story or their whatever, and they get, man, what the fuck is you talking about? Shirts, niggas? How many shirts is out here, nigga? Boy, would you? Like, so,
for real.
So like but to hear that your circle, at least your support system, was mostly supportive, and hearing you saying certain things, key things that let me know that, because I've heard you say we at least 3 times.
Right.
You made sure that you ain't saying me. You made we raised that money. We got that together. My boy brought me to somebody. So having that support system, how important was that to you?
It was very important, but it was also a part of the story. Because I kind of got to add that this is my second clothing line, by the way. I actually failed. I wouldn't say failed, but I had to just go a different way with this initial clothing line and stuff like that, whatever. So, you know, and of course it's all in the trial and error. It's just like, you know, sometimes when you do, you know, have a team of people, you know what I'm saying, y'all might not see the same ideologies or whatever. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I might have failed then too, you know what I'm saying? But at the time, like, you know, I had took away a minute, you know, stopped doing it for a minute. Mm-hmm. And I was already drawing, you know, I was still drawing, you know, behind the scenes, still making music, whatever. Okay. And actually, when I first started on clothes, I was working like part-time at a job. Okay. You know, with my first clothing line. And just, you know, managing and going in between, you know, trying to, but I still wasn't a full entrepreneur yet. Okay. Whatever, because I've been an entrepreneur for the last 3 years now. Okay. You know. Full entrepreneur, no 9 to 5. This is all I get paid off of. That's dope. Just what I do and what I love for the last 3, going on almost 4 years now. Dope. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see no other way now. But at first I had to fail though. Sometimes losing is very vital. Can be just as strong as gaining, you know what I'm saying? Because I already had the trial and error, what not to do, whatever, or where to go here, you know. And so just to go back to the story, I was still working, you know, part-time job, whatever, at Villa. Sneaker Villa, DTLR. Actually, one of my favorite jobs, though, for real, because Villa was the job that set me up with fashion for real, for real.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It made me like putting together people's fits. It gave me like just a different perspective on fashion. And you know, so anyways, it didn't work out whatever at Villa. I might have did like a Uber type of job, whatever, driving patients around, whatever. But I still wasn't, you know, satisfied yet. I ended up doing a movie, whatever, too, because, you know, I do film, too,
Okay.
whatever. I saw in between shooting the movie, I ended up getting this last job at like a Dollar General or something like that, whatever. And in between Dollar General, this is the time where I was starting my plans, y'all. I really was starting to plan because where I wanted to, like, how I do my brand. And just once again, you see, it's no really order. It's just a madness. With all my brands, everything is all included, whether it's music, movies, fashion, design, photography. I try to make sure everything is kind of like a cross sync, you know what I'm saying? Because everything can kind of like cross, whatever. So I had that point where I stopped. Once again, I was working at Dollar General. I stopped doing my first clothing line, and so, but I knew at this point I wanted to do studio.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I was recording so many songs, whatever. You know, we've been in the studio here. At this point in time, the game changed. So now we're more home studios.
Okay.
We're more accessible, or just, you know, the software was available now at this point in time. So I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. And I know that I could legitimately, you know, sell studio time and, you know, shooting music videos and in the same process record and produce my own music, whatever, and continue everything. So I might have did Dollar General for maybe about a year, whatever, stacked up my checks and got every piece that I needed, like Thanos, whatever, whether it was a big
You hear
PC
that logic?
here.
He bought equipment.
Yeah, I went and bought all my, before I left, I put a plan in, like, y'all, I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I ain't gonna lie, everything fucked up for me at the time. I lost my girl at the time, whatever. Like, whatever my homies.
I'm gonna fuck around and do the same thing with my equipment.
My car I lost the job I really loved because I said I liked Villa at the time, whatever.
feel you.
But I knew I couldn't give up. I knew this wasn't the end, but I was really fucked up at the time. And I had put a plan in. I might have worked that for maybe like so many months, whatever. Legitimately, I didn't scam nobody out, whatever. I just did whatever it was for them times, stacked and got my equipment, every little piece that I need. And y'all, once you'll get to know when in this journey, whatever you on, it's a ladder. And the farther you get up the ladder, it's just more equipment. Everything you need when you're trying to get, you just grabbing so many.
Because Hank be buying a lot of equipment.
Yeah, it's just gonna be
For
so
sure.
much more, whatever you need.
And
whatever.
get it delivered to my house.
Yeah, so and it's gonna be so much shit wherever you getting up there. So when you got the computer here, it might have been the you know, interface here. You know what I'm saying? It might have been, I don't know, the camera, the Canon here, you know what I'm saying, from this
Piecemeal
person.
it together.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
get
And
together.
then once I felt like I had so many pieces, a friend of mine, once again, because I'm very good at networking and stuff like that. So I was savvy enough to have a plug to set me up with a commercial building. I started out recording when I got off work at home, whatever, you know what I'm saying. But I just knew that it wasn't gonna work recording people out of this like home studio. It had to be commercial. But so once I got the building, I ain't gonna lie, y'all, my business went up like maybe 300% for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it had went up like.
But let me interject real quick, because see, I think one of the biggest issues that I think with people is, and this is, I know we joked about the equipment stuff, but once again, you worked at Dollar General, saved your checks,
Right.
and bought stuff that you need. You invested in yourself and something you believe.
You have to. If you don't invest in yourself, you're not gonna make it. That's just flat out.
There's a lot of people that's trying to do this independent stuff and this entrepreneurial type things, and they don't believe in spending money for some odd reason. You have artists that won't pay for a quality video. You have artists that will not pay for a decent beat. They have artists even during the CD era that would write on the CD when they sold it out.
It was the grind, I guess, on that end.
I get it,
Yeah,
but
it's
at the
also
same time,
presentation is a big
you
thing.
have to put money into what you're doing.
Correct.
And I think this is what you're talking about, you know, needs to be repeated because, you know,
And most definitely, the early bird is getting the worm, y'all.
Sure.
So while you thinking that you saving whatever time, not doing whatever it is, going go chill up with whomever, whatever, and putting this off to tomorrow, the early bird didn't already got it. He didn't understood this already. And you have to really, like Nipsey said this, when preparation meets opportunity, it could be such a beautiful thing. You need to already be there.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't understand how ROI works.
Yeah.
And sometimes
Yes.
people look at ROI as just
Say it what it is, because a lot of people don't understand what that stands
return on investment, right? So a lot of people, when you talk about people who don't want to invest, like you say, with the still writing on the CDs with the Sharpie, because they don't see a return coming back off getting those CDs printing up. You know what I'm saying? So they like, yo, I'm just gonna go on grab a couple from Myers, write on them, and yada yada yada. But a lot of times people don't understand is that return on investment can also be integrity. You know, you might not make that dollar off that, but you sell that quality product. People gonna look at you as, okay, this person is selling a quality product. This person is actually a business, and I'm a customer, as opposed to feeling like a custo. Like you just being hustled.
Nobody want to
You know what
feel
I'm saying?
so. No one wants to feel so at all.
Exactly, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people who don't want to invest is because they don't see a ROI on that investment. If I buy this camera instead of that camera, you know, I'm gonna still make the same $200 per video when I shoot. And they don't see that, yo, if you shoot quality videos, $700 quality videos with this $200 camera, then what's gonna happen is pretty soon you could charge $700. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
People don't understand
Correct.
that, and that's you know a part of the entrepreneurial game that a lot of people forget. Yes, you have to be smart with your money. Yes, you have to budget. Yes, you can't do everything, but understand ROI isn't always I spend $1 for this, sell it for $2, make $1. Sometimes it's I spend $2 on this, sell it for $1.50, but now I created a loyal customer who gonna buy things for the next 10, 20 years.
Absolutely.
And when I start to get to that profit point, that person would be one of my customers. So that's real big, something that people need to understand. But let's kind of move forward just a little bit. Because I get caught up in the minutia. I'm entertained by that, and I was just talking about not being self-indulgent. Yeah. So kind of talk to us about as far as moving forward, we're gonna stick to the clothing, then we're gonna kind of transition to the acting and then the rapping. Yep. So with the clothing, where did you first start to see success with the clothing?
You had to put it out there though. Like one of the first things I knew with the clothing thing, it was right in the cell phone switch. I know Detroit is like a monkey see, monkey do kind of city.
For real? That's crazy.
People, in order, I'm giving y'all a little game, y'all. People want to see other people in it first in order to believe.
No, that's crazy because like I'm from Pontiac, right? Uh-huh. And I say the same thing about Pontiac. Pontiac is kind of monkey see, monkey do, where they want to see it first, you know. But Pontiac kind of, and I'm gonna get my head bust when I go back home. People gonna be on my neck. Man. But Pontiac kind of looks at Detroit, and we kind of look at what Detroit does, and then we kind of go off of that. So we always kind of looked at it like as Detroit. Yeah, we kind of looked at it more so like y'all was more so trendsetters as opposed to monkey see, monkey do, and you being in the city. It's saying that no, within the city we still kind of
most definitely it's monkey see, monkey do. People rap the same way how other people's rap. You know what I'm saying? It's all how it is. But basically, I knew people had to see people in my stuff, so it took some initial losses.
Okay,
but it really wasn't losses. Okay, it was never losses.
Investments.
I would give it up to make sure I made sure all my friends had shirts. Mm-hmm. I made sure we plugged certain people, you know what I'm saying, you know, in it. People got to see it, but I need that picture. And so, you know, after I got the pictures, I made my sales back, you know what I'm saying? So it was, you know, once you put it out there, it's kind of, it sell itself. Okay,
so you were selling them pretty much, for lack of better words, out the trunk.
Out the trunk.
Gaining
out
success.
The trunk, yeah.
Okay, so I know you were saying you kind of right now you in some stores.
Yeah.
How did that process come about?
It was like a friend of a friend. You kind of got to know somebody like networking. It was one of my clients, one of his homies came in, and how I sell in my studio, it's an everyday pop-up shop. Okay. Like I cross promote, whatever. And so he was like, man, I love your brand. And he was like, one of my peoples is like, you know, connected with such and such with, you know, Donna Sachs, whatever. And he made a call, plugged me with his number, and, you know, the guy called me back. We had a couple meetings, whatever, and set it up. And, like, once in there, I'm in stores.
Dope. So what stores you in?
Yep, I'm in Fairlane and Oakland Mall. Whenever you'll see a pink teddy bear. I'm getting ready. Well, all my summer is in now. You'll see my fall collection coming up very soon. Very soon. Yeah. You know, I had to plug it up with the.
Definitely, we on Plug City.
You know what I'm saying? My guy Hank. You know what I'm saying? I have to plug him up with a T. This one of my Detroit. Actually, my NBA Finals collection. It was the Pistons versus the Lakers.
Move the tag out the way a little bit there.
Yeah.
There we go.
And of course, I drew the design. I'm actually planning a Teddy cartoon eventually, because I know once, you know, fashion is kind of tricky. Whatever, you don't get to do it forever.
Yeah.
You know, or you have
Gotta
to
stay
switch up
ahead
what
of the
you're doing.
trend.
You gotta be ahead of the trend. So before, like, maybe another year or so, we'll have Teddy move in, whatever, and I'll probably stick, change the name or something like that, or Teddy will just be small, but that's what it is right now.
So let me ask you this. So from the time of inception of this brand to getting in the store, how long was that?
Maybe 3 years. 3 years.
3 years. So
Yeah,
3 years from the. So for those of y'all listening, those of y'all watching, it ain't got to take forever.
Yeah.
You got a plan, trial and error. The first one didn't work. The second one might not work, but all that knowledge and all that information leads to the third one going that much faster.
Yeah.
So now let's kind of talk about the acting a little bit.
Yeah.
Currently, are you doing any acting right now?
Yep. So I was just in Beasley. I don't know if you're familiar with Beasley. He did Narc.
Okay.
But we just did a movie called Power and Money.
Okay.
Yep. You will see me in there. I did a couple projects. I did. Yeah, Power and Money by Beasley. I forget his name. What was the guy who played Stacy in the Wood?
I know who you're talking about.
Yep. We had a couple people, a couple known faces.
We just
Yeah,
call
we
him
got Fat
Stace
Boys.
from the woods.
Yeah.
man. We
Yeah,
know
what's
Stace.
his name? I forget his name.
I forgot his
He was
name.
actually a pretty cool dude for real too.
And he's straight up from South Central.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was like, I feel like it was so legendary to be watching him in a movie, to be in the movie with him, you know what I'm saying? I did some work with McGraw Ave, with Moolah.
Oh, shit.
You know what I'm
DeAndre
saying?
Bond
Yeah.
is his name.
Yeah, DeAndre, here we go, DeAndre.
Yep.
DeAndre, my bad. Whenever you see it, hopefully this, but most definitely, he was a cool dude, I got another movie on my belt called Through the Course of a Day. You can catch that on YouTube with Little House Films. Just right now, I'm just kind of in between projects right now.
Okay.
I'm just in between auditions.
Have you done TV shows, anything like that?
No TV shows.
Okay. Any series, anything?
No series, because like right now I'm doing so
You
much.
said what?
McGraw Ave technically is a series, but it was like, that was for me. It was just a one-off like slot.
Okay, it was just like a one episode.
Yeah,
Okay.
one or two episode thing.
But that's dope though. That's a
I did
placement.
something with the Cheddar Boys movie too. You can catch me in there too.
Okay, dope.
I be doing so much, you know what I'm saying? I forget sometimes. You got to just keep shooting, y'all. That's
Yeah. And that's dope because a lot of times people get found off them little one-off slots. Them little, you know what I'm saying?
So vital.
Yeah, man, I got a cousin who act, and she's like in every major show you can think of. She's in it, but she has the most minuscule role. And she'll be in NCIS, and her role will be like screaming mom at the very beginning. The daughter got killed, and she'll be the mom right there, my baby.
Yeah,
and that'll be
that's
it.
fire,
You know what I'm saying?
She got her
She was
slot.
in Chicago PD, but she's always the girl walking behind Stabler or the person here. Like she's always in something though, and it's like. And and you know, it kind of makes her mad a little bit because she auditions for these big roles and these speaking parts, and they always pick her, but it's always for something minuscule. But at the same time, she's always still inspired because she keeps saying, "But they see me."
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? They see something, and she's getting more and more of those little roles, more and more little commercials. So a lot of times those little bitty roles, that little, that one-off spot, McGraw Ave, somebody could see that and be like, "Yo, but yeah, we want him to do this."
Right.
You know what I'm saying, we want him to do that, and now you're building up a resume of, oh, this is the guy for this, this is the guy for that, this is the guy for that,
Her
and
name
you build all
Megan
that.
Fox. She was in Friday as a kid. You would see so many people with a cameo
Making
here
good.
and there. You know, she making good.
Megan,
correct.
I was like, hold on, Megan Fox
Transformers.
Transformer? Yeah, no,
Yeah,
Megan,
right.
yeah,
Right, but
I'll
no-
take either one of them.
A lot of times with movies and stuff like that, you can do all these auditions and stuff like that, but it's all about what the director's looking for.
Exactly.
And sometimes it be out of your hands for real. But the best thing to do is just to keep trying to get as many, as much
Placements.
IBD credits, you know what I'm saying, as you can. Placements basically.
So how did that process start? As far as if I'm somebody, yeah, I want to act. I want to be in McGraw Ave. I want to be in Money and Power. Like, how does that process work for somebody?
So I went to school for acting too. I went to school for theater actually. And so a couple of my acting friends, I asked them, was like, so how do I get roles, whatever. And the first thing she said was like, you got to get a comp card. You know what I'm saying? And
What's a comp card?
A comp card is basically like a resume. Basically, it got your headshots, your height, basically resume what you might have done. You know what I'm saying? Hair color, whatever. You know, it's a couple just shots of you. And then like she pointed me in the direction of like just these acting groups, whatever. Of course, I might have did it like an agency or so, but I felt like they were just taxing whatever at the time, what I was trying to do. But basically like acting groups, whatever, and so I just started doing auditions from there.
Okay. And then so you went to these acting groups, you auditioned to be a part of these groups, or how does that work?
Yep. I auditioned. You'll see in these it's like Facebook, they have all these Michigan acting groups, whatever. And they had auditions posted up during the times, whatever. And so I would go everywhere, 23 Mile, wherever, in the city, you know what I'm saying, Southfield, it don't matter, you know what I'm saying, whatever, you would never know where to get. And I ended up getting lucky, though. I ended up getting lucky with like a full role, though, not even just like an extra role or just me saying a couple lines in the movie, whatever. You would be, surprised what you may get.
So what do you do when you go to an acting group and you audition? What do they give you, something to read, or do you just make up something? Like, how does that work?
So, of course, you want to be prepared with something. Like, my whole thing, for real, y'all, how my first initial, like, when my first couple years doing it, I would always do, like, the Friday roll. Like, when Craig and Smokey, where your mama stay, You see her to come when you see them, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then one nigga in the hood that play like that. That would be my monologue that I would do. But you want to go with a monologue, but it's never like that. They always have a monologue for you the day of there. They'll give you like 5 minutes, I guess, to read, whatever, but you'll get a day 2.
Okay.
So if you make day 1, like you do, if you go to the audition, y'all, this is how I go. You go to the audition, you may have a monologue ready. They'll give you something to read. You'll get a little minute because there's so many other people there. So while other people in there reading for the role, you in there reading. You might be there a couple of days, not a couple of days, but a couple hours, whatever, something like that, whatever. Reading it, whatever, and then you get your time to shine, whatever. They just want to see if you can get it, because you're not gonna you know what I'm saying, get the whole emotion that you may need on screen just from a 5-minute read.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So if they call you in for day 2, you got the role. Okay. Or some kind of role.
So so they pretty much putting you on the spot, and they want to see something.
You got to make it a day 2.
Yeah, you got to
make it to day 2. If you make it to day 2, then it is what it is. Unless you got like a name like Denzel and they know what you are. Even in them situations, I even think they audition too, but it's not like a casting call situation where you're sitting with all these other people too.
So go to school. Once again, networking is paramount. You network, you get in some of these acting groups, find them on Facebook, social media, Google, whatever. You go to the acting group, you audition. Day 1, have something prepared, but they're going to throw a curveball and give you 5 minutes. And then hopefully you do good enough to at least get a day 2. You get a day 2, get a role, you in there. Okay, now how does that turn into being on the screen?
Man, so like then it's the third day when you got the role.
Third day.
And I ain't gonna lie, it takes a lot of time. Like a lot of times you do these movies, you really have to want this. Really have to want this. Like my first movie, I didn't.
So hold on, real quick. My bad, I mean to cut you off. But just so I'm correct on what you're saying. When you say acting groups, are you talking about like Second City acting groups where it's a group of people who come together and do improv?
They like Facebook acting groups for real.
Like the battle rap groups. And
So
stuff
so it's
They
groups.
have pages like that.
And you find out with auditions.
And
See, I thought he was saying get in an acting group, when you hear people like Jim Carrey say, "I was a part of the Laugh Factory's team, and we were
talking
doing
about like on
improv."
Facebook.
Okay, I get what you're saying. So
work that phone a little
okay,
bit,
so you get on there, you find the social media groups, and they let you know when the casting calls will be.
All these directors
okay, I
locally.
got you.
And Detroit has a really big market right now.
I got to turn you on to those because we in the process of putting stuff together.
Oh yeah, look into them, dog. We'll make sure we plug it up.
Definitely.
I'll send y'all whatever acting groups I'm in, so y'all could kind of see the you know what I'm talking about.
Okay, cool. So it's all about network. And like, so when you go, so that kind of changed my whole format of questioning now, because I thought it was something different. So when you go to when you're in these acting groups and you find out, when you're first starting off, are you being picky about the roles, or are you just like, yo, I'm going at anything?
Well, yeah, at first I was kind of going to everything though. So you'll end up going to, I don't know, shooting. End up pulling up to a set and like, or you made the audition, then you come for another day, whatever, and they shooting with an iPhone. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you do gotta kind of be picky and choosy with what they sometimes are very specific though. If they want a Hispanic man, they want a Hispanic man. Yeah. If they want a black actor, you know, age 25 and older, or if they wanted 21 or 16 or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You'll see, just read the synopsis of what the piece is.
Okay. Now let me ask you this, kind of going a little bit off the rail. We kind of just talking acting a little bit, because you hear a lot of these stories a lot of times about from actors, big name actors, when they talking back about certain roles and not getting roles, and they felt like they were typecasted or they didn't get a role because this role was casted for a white male. However, anybody could have did this role. His nationality or his color didn't have nothing to do with it. They just, like, at your level where you were, not downplaying where you were, but at your level where you were, did you see any of that?
Most definitely, but it's all about design.
Okay.
It's all about design. Like, people, they look for what they look. These movie directors and producers, they know what they want on screen. You know what I'm saying? Like, when they want a Spider-Man movie, they know whom they want Spider-Man to be.
Yeah. Basically. Even though and that's a little different, I guess, because traditionally Peter Parker was a white guy, Mary Jane, Uncle Ben, yada yada yada. Yeah. But like, what was the action movie? And it was hilarious to me. I could not take it serious. Tyler Perry, he did an action movie. What was it called? Alex Cross. And it was just like, and I just couldn't take, and it was the first time I'm like, dog, they put a black person in this role, dope.
Oh yeah, he did do that.
But then I was like, but it's Tyler Perry.
It was a no for me, dog.
Yeah, it was. But it was dope. But it was one of them times where it was like,
I'm glad he was trying to be diverse, but
I'm glad they gave him a shot.
I'm glad that he was trying to. I ain't gonna lie. If Tyler Perry was calling me for a role, I'd probably take that.
I take every role except Madea.
That's what it is.
I would say fuck dope ideas.
He said,
if he called me today, Plug City.
What idea? What idea?
I got my own plug. Y'all go ahead.
What idea?
Go ahead and shoot that little shit with y'all little cameras. I'm out.
With y'all little, everything be little then. Take y'all little banner, your little cameras, little pop-ups, all that shit.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so again, and how long would you say, because with the clothing line, it says about 3 years. How long did it take you with the acting to go from joining the group to actually getting your first role?
I want to say it was all in my first year. All in my first year. I don't know. I was so lucky, y'all. I ended up getting.
Was it luck though?
And everything. It's no mistakes, to be honest. But I don't know. I was lucky to link with this guy named Kevin Flynn. And of course, I tried for the main role because they're gonna have you read, I guess, the main role, whatever, even if that's not you. And he gave me a shot, though. He really gave me a shot for like a full role. And it took us like a year to do the movie, whatever, because it was about one day. It was, so it just required us to have a certain season, whatever. So, of course, here in Michigan, the season changed
every day.
Shout out Nigel.
I think you already know. Yeah, my guy Nigel.
That's my boy Nigel Morris, man.
Cisco, you know what I'm saying? My fam, whatever. And I'm glad they all, is striving and, shooting too. You know what I'm saying? It was a real good experience, being on set.
And how many failed attempts did you have before you got the role?
Maybe a few, maybe like 3 or so. So many. I had to keep going.
And that, once again, that's important. People need to hear about the perseverance and about what it takes to get to where you are.
Yeah, you might not get what you want.
Exactly, but you got to keep striving for it. So as far as I know, you say you take a little hiatus, but as far as on actual, sets but are you planning to do any more acting in the future? Do you got anything lined up? You looking to do? You want to put anything in the atmosphere, like?
Yep. So right now I'm just in between sets, whatever, because I'm like going back with my music in right now and just focusing on clothing and just more musical projects. But if whatever it's a good idea come across my, lap, whatever, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? I'm still just working my catalog, building my catalog up.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You that's just really what it is. So, I want to just, keep going with it.
Do you have an agent or anything like that?
No agent. I basically handle all of that.
Okay.
I got a couple people with me though now that who I do. Once again, it is a team around me too.
Okay. So they help out with that.
Happen.
Okay, cool. That's what's up. Let's kind of go into I talked a little bit about the clothing. We talked a little bit about the acting. Let's go into the music a little bit.
Yeah.
You said you started doing the music early on too, right? Correct?
Yeah, that was one of the first things I did.
Like I think every young black kid at one point tries to rap. Like
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, that's
like
just what it was.
my daughter done wrote her first couple bars. It's hilarious. Like everybody tries to do it.
Luckily for me, when I was doing it, it wasn't a lot of people doing it though back then. Like when I was doing it, and you see the growth now. Like I said, just because studios now more accessible now. We ain't had tight beats when I was coming up.
Oh yeah, I didn't. What year you graduated high school?
2010.
Okay, dang. You keep saying when we coming up. I thought he was about to say something like he was in school a while ago. Like Jesus Christ.
It's 2020. So
yeah,
now
I mean,
like
but we old
wow,
though. We old. We old. You keep saying back in the day, like back in the day was like our prime.
There's some people that feel like Michael Jordan's the GOAT. There's some people that feel like LeBron James is the GOAT. It just depends on what age you was born.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, it was Jordan.
LeBron, but moving on.
That's for y'all discussion, whatever. I'm a LeBron fan too, though. You know what I'm saying? But Michael Jordan was just different.
Yeah.
I don't know how y'all see Cade, what he said, whatever. I like Cade too.
Yeah.
He was like Michael Jordan was different, but LeBron was.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, they each got their own lane. You know what I'm saying? And it's
I graduated in 07, so Kobe
a little
is.
bit closer.
You get what I'm saying?
See,
Kobe.
but
Everybody.
Kobe was my GOAT.
See, and I graduated in 02, so for me it was AI.
See,
You know what I'm saying? AI was who everybody was rocking the braids, the trying to do the little crossovers.
Hell yeah.
Then nobody want to go to practice. So
He most
it was
definitely on
like,
the
tattoos.
basketball Mount Rushmore.
Facts.
Well, I would say Kobe and Ivo is in its own. Basketball Mount Rushmore. Jordan would be like in the old 90. Charles Barkley. Who was the Houston Rockets?
Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah.
Dang, you young.
Hakeem,
Who's the guy who played for Houston?
I mean,
young. I get it. My OGs be looking at me like that. You know what I'm saying? My OGs looking at me like that. So, yeah, I mean, we are, but that's generational. That's always going to happen. A lot of us, and I rock with Jordan too. I just said LeBron to piss June off. But a lot of us rock with what we rock with because a lot of times, and it's kind of going to go into what we're talking about, where you heard or where you saw or where you were when you heard or you saw makes a big difference on how it impacted you. Like with Eminem, I remember when I first heard Eminem's first album, where I was when I first heard it, what I was looking at, what I was doing, how impressionable I was. That made that first album hit so hard for me. Different stuff. So when I saw Jordan, and I was a big Reggie Miller fan, like that was my favorite player for whatever reason. And Jordan used to torch his ass. And I hated Jordan, but I couldn't help but
He did a lot of people like that.
yeah, but Reggie was different. That was my favorite. You know what I'm saying? And I remember my squad: Reggie Miller, Rick Smits, Mark Jackson, Jalen Rose was there, Dickie Simpkins, Sam Perkins. I could run through the whole
The Davis brothers.
The Davis brothers.
so
The
that
Dale
Malice
Davis was just
documentary
there.
pissed you off, huh?
Man.
What?
That Malice documentary pissed you off, then?
No, see, by then,
Yeah, I
by
still
by
ain't
then
see
it was
that.
towards the end of my Reggie Miller fandom. At that point, he had like 2 years left after that, I think.
No, he retired right after.
I thought it was 2, but you might be right. But
Yeah, we gave him a run for that.
Reggie
game,
was
too.
all by that point. I was a little bit more seasoned. I was older then, so I was a little bit more seasoned in basketball. When I was watching Jordan in '96, '97, I was 6th, 7th grade. So I'm a little kid, like, dog, he made it again.
Man,
He
right,
made it
right,
again.
right.
Before we-
Offensive foul.
Before we get way too off of this,
Yes,
where were
racist.
you at when Reggie Miller went crazy in the garden?
in the guard. Oh, I was watching it. I was watching it.
That was 1994.
I was watching it.
Man,
It was my
94.
4th grade summer on the way to 5th grade. The reason I like Reggie Miller because my older cousin was a big Reggie Miller fan, and I was staying the night at their house. We was watching that game, and I just remember sitting there, and and he was a big Reggie Miller fan then, and he was trying to get me to be, and we watching, and he's talking junk, and as he's going off, I'm just like, this guy can't miss. So yeah, that was it for me.
I got a story to tell you after we close down about that day. That's how I know when it happened. That night changed my life.
All right, we'll talk about that off cam. But that kind of goes into what we're about to talk about with music. A lot of times it's all about perspective and where you are when you're writing certain music, it's going to affect how it hits you where you are. When you a certain love song might be whack until you're going through that situation, then you find yourself in the kitchen crying because what Beyonce said. Something you're like, bro, that shit hit different. So
when you're a little older, or whatever.
bro, a lot. When you go through those experiences, you understand it a little different. But you being an artist, so you're already creative, you already have an entrepreneurial spirit, and now you rapping. Like when you were rapping, like what type of if you was to pigeonhole yourself and put yourself in a box, as far as rap, what type of rap would you say you did? Like, is it trap, soulful, party? Is it mumble? Like, was it lyrical, miracle? Like, what? I know most rap. I'm a rapper. We don't like to pigeonhole ourselves, but just to give people an understanding, what lane would you say you fit in?
I don't know if you ever heard different strokes for different folks. Like, it's just like a very different beat. This tune, it's not everybody's favorite tune.
Okay.
But I, like, once again, I said I'm inspired by the Kanye Wests of the world,
Okay,
and the Pharrell Williams of the world, whatever. And like, I don't know, it's just this type of tune that I've been into, whatever. It's so, and it's so weird because I'm so surrounded. I'm in the city, whatever, and so I'm surrounded by like the Band Gang Mazos and the Payrolls, whatever. And that's just not necessarily my sound here, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. Even though I've grown to love Detroit music and understand it because I produce so much of it, whatever, and I see that the world is, you know, more between into it. But if I could say, I want to say I started out at least doing backpack rap and then just grown to just be more in myself as a creative.
Okay. And I'm not trying to pigeonhole you, but I just want to get. When you say backpack, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I came up on backpack, the Qualities, the Commons, the Most Def, the
Tribe
Pharaoh
Quest,
Tribe,
you know what
all
I'm
that.
saying?
So who would you say? I understand it's you, and I'm not trying to make you be nobody else. But who would be a comparison as far as the style? Would you say you? Because when you say Pharrell, you know, there's Nerd. Neptune, you know, there's what Pharrell does for other people. So he wears many different hats as well. And Kanye does the same thing.
It's
right, you know what I'm saying?
Right there too. Kanye and Pharrell though. Like, I like Pharrell's beats where he's so, like, if you ever heard the song I'm Happy, whatever, it's just he has a yellow tune, whatever. He just have this, you know, when you hear it type of vibe, whatever, and like
Pharrell style.
Yeah, I'm very, like, known for being me, being yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's where I always grab from Kanye. Kanye was not, you know, he wasn't 50 Cent Mini Man. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't like, he had this pink polo. You know what I'm saying? He had this book pack on. He was very fashionable, whatever. I always thought it was cool that you could be you. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, it made me, you know, I love that he was such an artist on the video aspect. It wasn't even just the song, you know what I'm saying?
It was everything.
It was everything, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, in the madness, whatever. I hate the, you know, it's not, I guess like alternative rap.
Okay.
Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm inspired by like the Wiz Khalifas of the world, the, you know, Kid Cudis, the Mac Millers, you know what I'm saying? If you could kind of get a, you know, perspective, you know, I get, you know, Big Sean comparisons sometimes, whatever, you know, me and Big Sean, you know, it's been times of the years where we didn't had the same idea on music videos. I had a video called Thick Girl, where I took the Martin video and Big Sean had Play No Games, where it was the Martin theme video, you know what I'm saying? You can look this up, whatever, in dates, whatever. It's like other like little comparisons. But that if you could kind of get where perspective in a box wherever I'm in, that's where I'm at.
And I didn't even ask, you know, as an artist, what do you go by?
Monte.
Yeah. Okay, and if I wanted to, because I feel you, because I hate when people ask me, put yourself in a box, and it's like I work hard as hell to not put myself in a box, and then you tell me to.
I ain't scared of the box. I get there is no box for real.
Okay.
But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you kind of gotta have direction because why is so important, y'all. Why is everything? After so long, you would think that, you know what I'm saying, I'm just doing this just to be doing it, but people, it don't resonate they won't resonate with people. Resonate with a story.
Facts.
It gotta be why.
Facts. Also, as far as your videos, you got videos on social media and stuff too. Not videos on social media. Videos on. What's some of your videos so people who want to check out the music and get a feel for what you're doing? What's some of the videos we can look up and find?
Yep. So you can find my whole YouTube page, Creative Control. It's KC Creative Control Magazine. You can find, you know, I got work a little bit everywhere, but Monte. Check out what y'all want to look up now though is the CD called The Yellow Album. Monte, the Yellow Album. It's like a pop CD that I'm working on right now. That's what I'm expecting new visuals I got going from there.
Okay. Is there anything So I pick up on little stuff. So is there any significance of the color yellow with what you do?
Yes, I'm
Okay,
glad you asked.
because when you were speaking on Pharrell, when you was talking about Happy, you said it was kind of yellow,
right?
And then you say the yellow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I pick up on little stuff.
Picking up this Easter egg, so I got to give y'all another Easter egg before we wrap this one out. So the Yellow album is actually a prelude. And I'm gonna say it on this interview. I've been doing a few for the run. I've been doing all these podcasts. It was for the Yellow album actually.
Okay.
Because I wanted to give people like a perspective of Monte than just beyond just being a rapper or beyond just seeing me on my T-shirt, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever. To see, this is who I am, whatever. So the Yellow album is a prelude album. It's gonna be actually 3 albums. The Yellow album is like it's a summer CD. It's the summer playlist. It's the Sun album. It's the Pikachu album. And in the fall, I plan to release a double disc album called Red and Blue.
Okay.
And so growing up, I was a big Pokemon fan. Season 2 of Teddy, every time I drop something, I always liked how Pokemon, they always came out with 2 colors.
Okay.
And then sometimes they would come out with a special edition colorway. So when Pokemon first came out, it was Pokemon Red and Blue and Yellow. And then they came out with Pokemon Gold and Silver and Crystal. You know what I'm saying? And so Yellow album is kind of playing into this and how I want to do the Red and Blue album that's coming in the fall. Okay. It'd be like, it's going to be an album, one to be streamed on Spotify, and then one is only going to be streamed exclusively through Apple Music. The Red album will be more passionate and more like angry, partier music, where the Blue album is cool. It's sunglasses. It's like just whatever that tune is. And Yellow is poppy. It's the summer, you know what I'm saying? You kind of got to look into it. It's a little bit of my madness. Now, I plan on actually expanding this series, like how the Pokemon series did. So if I did Red and Blue and Yellow this year, I'm going to do Gold and Silver next year. And Gold and Silver means prestige. And so I'll be talking more about, whatever in that substance.
Okay. I was just, as I'm talking to you, I'm looking up the YouTube page as well because I want to check out some of the music.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I was just laughing because we had Biggs up here. We did an interview, and and one of the songs we picked was, what was it called? Dear Bitches.
Oh, man.
Dear Bitches. And I pull up is this you, 2 hoes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2 hoes.
2 hoes.
Yeah, we love the
like,
women, though. We love
names
the
like that. Names. Let me go ahead and follow the YouTube
follow
page
me.
real quick.
Follow me. I'm going to subscribe.
Let me subscribe. Yeah, Creative Control Magazine, KC. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Names, song titles just stand out to me always. It's always fascinating. I love abstract song titles. All my songs have abstract titles, have nothing to do with the song. So when I hear a title that's straight to the point, like, 2 hoes. Okay, I know what this is about.
That was very to the point. Yeah, that was very to the point for that song.
So let me ask you this then. So we're not going to try to box you in no more. You told us kind of alternative. You're a fan of Cudi, Ye, Pharrell, everything he does, things of that nature. What would you say, because we're here to promote the Yellow album. We're here to promote what you're working on right now. What would you say to somebody who's not familiar with you to get them to check out your album? What would your pitch be?
There's nothing like it. You gotta just see it. You gotta tap it in. Cause it's like a whole experience, whatever, like how I'm doing it, like you kind of got to be a part of the wave, you know what I'm saying? So I just did Dream Rich's fashion show like a week ago, whatever, where I premiered my whole summer line, but I was playing some of the Yellow album, you know what I'm saying? So you kind of got to be just hip to it, you know what I'm saying? And if you're not hip to it, it's okay. You got to just get hip to it.
It's like an experience.
Yeah, it's an experience. You kind of got to get hip to it. Not everybody, I'm cool with everybody not getting hip to it because I know I may not be for everyone.
Yeah, that's cool, man. You just got to tap it in.
You got to tap it in. For real. That's hilarious. You feel me? Y'all got to get where I'm saying how you got to get with it.
Yeah. I mean, everybody got their buzzwords,
right?
You know what I'm saying? They words they like to throw out there, experience and stuff like that. Just having fun with it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, man. But yeah, it's always. But the reason I'm asking this is because, like, with music, normally what sells music is comparisons, right? I don't know if you're familiar with Dave East or not.
Yeah.
But when Dave East was coming out, they were selling him as, yo, he's like the next Nas.
Man.
So people already kind of knew what to expect when Dave East, when Beanie Siegel, I don't know if you know a little bit, that's 90s. But when Siegel came out, it's like, yo, he's like a more aggressive Jay-Z, and he's this, and they were all, you know, and they will always use a comparison to sell you on he's the new and improved this, the new, and it's always dope in this area, especially when you say, no, I'm staying away from the comparisons. But now you got to try to figure out something to get people who not familiar with the wave and who not up on it, because that's the thing about experiences. You have to be a part of it to fully understand it and fully grasp it.
Yeah.
And if you're on the outside, like my first time seeing a rave, I had no idea what was going on. Like I'm like no. So I pulled out my phone and just was recording it. It was just ha 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 ha. Right. But then when I went back to watch the video to show somebody else to laugh at the video, and I'm looking at it, and everybody in there is having a good time. Nobody gives a fuck about my camera. Nobody gives a fuck if I'm ha ha ha. They enjoying their life, and I realized that I'm on the outside of that experience, trying to critique and laugh at some shit that I have no understanding whatsoever. And them dudes waving arms and swinging and hitting people and pulling shirts off and moshing, and they enjoying themselves. And they probably went home to their girl and drunk their beers and talked about how much of a good time they had. And I'm sitting there, you know, critiquing them. But I'm on the outside looking in, so I would never be able to experience that. And with music, you got people who on the outside looking in, who you want them to be a part of that experience, because those are possible clothes buyers. Those are possible, you know, people who gonna watch a movie you're in, possible people who gonna download a project. Right. So it's like, it's that's, you know, gonna probably be you probably already got it planned out, but that's the step to get people who not a part of what you're doing to be a part of it. And I hate to use this example. We're not about to go on this conversation tip, but just to use that as an example, if you're religious.
Yeah.
You know, if you believe in God, all things, well, I don't believe in God, and you're telling me I have to believe in God to get this stuff, but I don't believe yet. So why should I believe? Well, because God said, I get what you're saying, but if I don't believe it yet, you know, so you're trying to get people to move in belief, or move in an experience that they ain't quite there yet. So it's like, how are you going to get those people, how are you going to reel them into the experience to say, yo, do this, be a part of the experience. You're not going to get it until you're here. Yeah. But once you hear, oh, it's gonna be that shit. But how do you get them to be there? Like, what's your hook? How you bring them in?
And it's so honest, and I get exactly what you're saying. I feel like the right cosign though. You know, I guess it'd be just me working what I work at, but that proper production is so vital. Okay, it's like a part of, like I said, in order to be really successful, you got to have all the variables present. So, I would need the right plug. And then it should be, you know, within the right time, it should be set up.
And there's no reason to believe why I wouldn't when we're looking at what you did with the clothing line in 3 years, what you did with the acting in a year. There's no reason to doubt it. You know what I'm saying?
Rome wasn't built in one day. Maybe a little bit more traveling for me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Ash needs to leave Pallet Town a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Pokemon reference.
Yeah, once again, you know what I'm saying? you got to leave your hometown to, you know, see how the world is. This is a really big world out there, for real.
Facts.
You never know who may actually like what you're doing, for real.
Facts, and that was one of the biggest things for me as well, because I remember somebody was like, we was talking about music. You know, I'm from the Yak. We in the city. We arguing music, and somebody said, "Bro, I ain't never been on a block and heard nobody bumping no fucking Project Logic." Man. And I was just like, bro, if your microcosm of how music is accepted is just what's going on your block, it's a lot of shit not going on your block. Yeah. So if all you know is what's going on your block, that's your fault, not mine. Right. If you don't know who Picasso is, that don't take away from Picasso. That takes away from you. So, but a lot of times, you know, that's the thing, getting out. And, you know, and it's funny, I find different places where my music is accepted at extremely. In other places, they're kind of like, nah. You know what I'm saying? So getting out and traveling and getting in front of different audiences and getting in front of different people and understanding that no one audience is going to be make or break for what you do. But I'm sure you I'm not telling you nothing new at this point. Like, it's all shit you know. So, but yeah, we're getting close to running out of time. I had a couple more. It's funny, like, because I don't know who you are, I'm just getting, but it's funny, as we talk, more and more stuff is coming out, and I'm getting more and more interested and more like, yo, but what about this and what about that? And Hank and June both know I could talk forever. So but we definitely been here all
I
day.
love the energy here, man.
Yeah, man, I definitely want to have you back so we could talk a little bit more because I do kind of want to go in depth a little bit more. I kind of skimmed over the acting a little bit because I wanted to get to the music because I know that's kind of what you want to talk about, and I know you wanted to promote that project, and we kind of wanted to make sure you were able to do that.
We got that in.
Yeah, but also once again, can you let everybody know where they can follow you at on social media, where to find you at, how to contact?
Yep, so you can follow me at Monte Brown on Facebook, Monte Brown like the color. You can find me on Instagram, listen to Monte, listen LISTEN 2 MONTE. Follow Teddy by Monte page, Teddy by Monte on teddybymonte.com. It's a website. You can find Creative Control. It's my music production videos because I shoot videos too. You know what I'm saying? Creative Control, KC Mag. Find me at Donna Sachs, Oakland and Fairlane with the pink teddy bear. You will see us in the window.
Excellent. One more time for the acting credits, the movies and things you've done. What can they check you out in?
Yep. So you can check me out in McGraw Ave season 1. Through the course of a day, we on YouTube. McGraw Ave is on Tubi. Through the course of the day, it's on YouTube. And you will catch me in Power and Money. It's coming up soon. Give me a sec.
Dope. So once again, we appreciate you, Monte. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for rocking with us, man. We appreciate you. Definitely want to have you out more in the future, man, because you definitely got a good story, man. You got good energy, man, and we definitely need that here, man. It's your boy, Project Logic, Hank, June, Plug City TV, Dope Ideas Media, Hank Nation. We out.
We out.